Should the Detroit Lions pursue Matt Nagy for their offensive coordinator position? This is kind of catching steam.
Yeah.
And look, I have no problem with teams doing their due diligence and interviewing people. And I think Matt Nagy honestly deserves another gig. I don't think it's an OC position. He probably goes on to become a quarterback's coach, an offensive assistant, somewhere along those lines, just not the offensive coordinator for Detroit. I don't think that's the fit. You saw what this offense could look like down the stretch last season, may I remind you. Yes, meaningless games, but what I saw was creativity, an ability to deceive the opposing team, control the line of scrimmage, run the football, and hit big plays on play action. That sounds good to me. And if it's Deuce Staley, Ben Johnson, I don't care. I think this is an internal promotion, Jeff.
Yep.
I don't think this is an outside hire. You already technically did this with Anthony Lynn. It didn't work out for various reasons. I don't think it's important why it didn't work out, because we saw what could happen with the team you have internally. Now, if you went the whole 17 games with Anthony Lynn and it just never worked out, well, yeah, you don't have a 6, 7, 8, 9 game sample size of what your team looks like without Anthony Lynn. But you have that. And I think internally is the way to go, Jeff. I think it's either Ben Johnson or Deuce Staley. I think Matt Nagy is a good coach. Mm-hmm. I think he did a good job, actually. In Chicago, may I remind you, he actually won a division title and was a double doink away from the NFC title game. So, let's put context on all this stuff. Crap on him all you want. I don't care. He's a good coach. He'll likely get a second job.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised 2, 3, 4 years from now. And he'll likely be a coordinator up until then. Just not in Detroit. Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, we've been saying hire from within, but there's more to that. I don't think it makes sense for both sides. I don't think Matt Nagy, yes, he stays in his own division. He gets the revenge against the Bears. That's the only thing I see. I don't see Detroit as a destination where Nagy's trying to get back, at least I assume, to being a head coach. And that starts with, obviously, an offensive coordinator role. I don't see it with the Lions, and I don't see it as a fit from the Lions' perspective. I mean, look at it. You had a good sample size, like you said, with Ben Johnson as your pass game coordinator, Dan Campbell calling plays. If you had Anthony Lynn the entire season, maybe we'd have a different question because you've seen that horrific offense all season. You saw positive things towards the end. So with that being said, and the fact that I want them to hire within because you already have a philosophy that works. You have a rapport with Ben Johnson and Jared Goff, with Dan Campbell calling plays. Why in the hell would you mess that up? You're going to have Matt Nagy come in and bring his own philosophy. And number one, let's not forget, Matt Nagy with the Chicago Bears the last 3 years, he started his first 2 years so great. Last 3 years, he just descended in points as an offense. They were near 30 every year. So as a coach, he is a good coach. Offensive coordinator, I would hold out on that for the Lions. I see them hiring from within, and we talk about this all the time with guys like Jim Caldwell and potential and ceiling. I don't see, you don't know the ceiling of Ben Johnson. That's my point, or Deuce Staley for that matter. So those guys I'm looking at. Matt Nagy, I kind of know his ceiling. I kind of know what he is as a coach. So in my opinion, you got the rapport with Ben Johnson and Deuce Staley. You got to look at those guys. My pick is Ben Johnson, of course, but hiring Matt Nagy would an outside hire wouldn't make any sense to me. And number two, why would you have a whole new philosophy come in? Or even Matt Nagy, you think he would adjust to our philosophy? I don't think it would be a match.
Well, philosophy is the key word there.
Yeah.
What is the philosophy of Dan Campbell? Culture, right?
Yep.
There is no better way to promote culture and get a room that's already bought in to buy in even more than to hire internally. I'll give you guys an example. Let's say Woodward Sports is looking for a director of social media. Do you think it is the right move to hire outside, or obviously to entertain people from the outside, but let's say there are a few candidates internally? Don't you think it's better to promote the people internally who are already familiar with the brand, who are working on it on a day-to-day level,
familiar with the players,
who understand what you want, what your expectations are? Mm-hmm. Culture? You hire from within, and you give it to Ben Johnson or Deuce Staley at this point. That's the play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think it can be any different. So, Maddie, we do got to go to break. When we get back, we talked about the Rooney Rule not too long ago, obviously with the Brian Flores deal. Now the Lions have been linked to, allegedly, in 2018, using Terrell Austin to fit/check the box for the Rooney Rule.
I got to get some things off my chest. So I cannot wait for this next segment.